They told you that love is a conscious decision, that you fall for someone because of their kindness, their beauty, their compatibility with your values. But what if I told you that the real reason you fall is unconscious? That the person you obsess over is not your soulmate, but a projection of everything you've repressed? Carl Jung didn't believe in coincidences when it came to love. He believed in patterns, specifically the compulsive repetition of what your psyche has not yet integrated. You are not falling in love. You are falling into a trap set by your own shadow. Think about it. Why do you keep choosing the same kind of person? The one who wounds you in familiar ways? The one who activates your deepest insecurities? The one who mirrors the rejection, neglect, or chaos you swore you'd never tolerate again? Is that free will or compulsion? Jung called this the unconscious projection of the shadow self, the parts of you that you disowned in childhood, now seeking expression through the other. You don't love them. You love what they awaken in you, your unresolved wounds, your unmet needs, your forbidden desires. But here's the terrifying part. The more you deny this truth, the more powerful the projection becomes. You will pursue them relentlessly, defend them irrationally, and suffer repeatedly, all to avoid facing the one person you've been running from all along, yourself. So when you think about that person, the one who broke you, the one you can't let go, ask yourself, did you really choose them? Or were you chosen by the unconscious force within you desperate to be seen? This is not love. This is the psyche's silent cry for integration. And until you understand that, you will keep falling for the wrong person. You believe you're attracted to who they truly are. But are you? Or are you drawn to the mask they wear, the persona they present to the world, carefully crafted to seduce, to protect, to conceal? Carl Jung warned us, the persona is not the self. It is the social mask, the acceptable facade we all manufacture to navigate the demands of society. And just as you wear yours, they wear theirs. But here's the unsettling truth. You don't fall in love with the person. You fall in love with the mask that complements your wounds. Ask yourself, why does their aloofness intrigue you? Why does their emotional unavailability make you chase harder? Why does their cruelty feel so familiar? It's because their mask matches the script your unconscious has been rehearsing for years. You crave the validation they withhold because it mirrors the conditional love you first learned to accept. But it gets worse. You believe this is fate, that it's a cosmic match. But it's not. It's your persona meeting their persona. Two masks colliding, two defenses dancing, two illusions mistaking each other for something real, and beneath all of it, two frightened inner children desperately hiding their authentic selves, even from themselves. This is why the relationship is filled with misunderstanding, pain, and endless cycles of hope and disappointment. Because neither of you is relating from the core of who you are. You are relating from the roles your shadows force you to play. Until you strip away the mask and confront the terror of who you are without it, you will keep mistaking persona for person. Mask for love, fantasy for intimacy. But most people never do. They stay trapped, addicted to the performance, mistaking the stage for life. Are you ready to remove the mask? You think it's them, their charm, their allure, their unpredictability that draws you in. But it's not. It never was. The truth is far darker. You are seduced by your own wound. Carl Jung called this the compulsion to repeat, a primitive instinct in the psyche that seeks not comfort, but familiarity. You don't chase pleasure, you chase the known. Even if that known is pain, why else would you feel magnetized to the very traits that destroy you? Why else do you return, again and again, to those who leave you feeling small, abandoned, invisible? Because there is a wound inside you, a psychic injury left unresolved, and your unconscious will drag you, kicking and screaming, back to anyone who can reopen it, not to heal it, but to relive it. You see, the psyche does not crave healing. It craves completion, closure. And if you've never confronted the original source of the wound, Whether it was a distant parent, a critical caregiver, or a childhood humiliation, then you will seek out its reflection in lovers who fit the same shape. But here's the sinister twist. Every time you fail to recognize this pattern, the wound deepens, the pain sharpens, the compulsion strengthens, until, eventually, it consumes you. This is why your relationships don't liberate you, they imprison you in reenactments of a story you never chose, but now cannot stop living. Do you see it now? You were not drawn to them. You were drawn to what they make you feel, a familiar ache that you mistake for passion, intensity, even love. But it is none of these. It is your shadow, beckoning you to look inward, and finally confront the wound you've spent your entire life trying to avoid. Will you answer that call? You thought they were your opposite, someone different, someone who could complete you. But Jung knew better. He taught us that those we fall for are often mirrors, reflecting back not our ideal, but our disowned self, the one you cannot stand, the one you've exiled to the corners of your psyche. Look closely. The qualities that most captivate you, are they not the very ones you secretly repress? Their confidence triggers your insecurity. Their coldness evokes your desperation. Their unpredictability awakens your need for control. But none of this is about them. It's about you, and the parts of yourself you refuse to acknowledge. This is the essence of projection. What you will not accept in yourself, you will compulsively seek or reject in others. So you chase their love to validate the parts of you that feel unworthy. You endure their silence to justify your belief that you don't deserve to be heard. You cling to them, not because of who they are, but because of what you refuse to be. And this is why letting them go feels impossible, because in doing so, you fear losing access to that reflection, that proof that the part of you they represent still exists. But here's the painful truth. As long as you depend on them to mirror your unloved parts, you will never truly see yourself. You will remain trapped in relationships that serve only to perpetuate your self-alienation. The mirror they offer is not for comfort. It is for confrontation. And most people, they shatter it rather than face what it reveals. But you have a choice. Will you finally look into that mirror? You think you are free, that you make your own choices in love, in life. But freedom is an illusion when you are a prisoner of your archetypes. Carl Jung exposed this hidden architecture of the psyche, the ancient, universal patterns that shape human behavior beneath the surface of consciousness. The lover, the child, the orphan, the trickster, the mother, the destroyer. Each archetype a story written long before you were born. And when you fall for the wrong person, it is often because an archetype within you has seized control. Perhaps it is the abandoned child, seeking to be chosen at last. Perhaps it is the wounded healer, believing they can fix what was never theirs to repair. Or maybe it is the martyr, addicted to sacrifice, mistaking suffering for love. You think you are loving them. But in truth, you are playing out the role your archetype demands, and the more unconscious you are of these forces, the more inevitable your choices become. This is why you feel powerless, as if fate conspires against you, because your psyche is following a script you didn't write, but you keep acting out. But here's what no one tells you. Archetypes are not destiny. They are patterns, and patterns can be observed, disrupted, transcended. But first, you must recognize which one holds you captive. Ask yourself, in this love, who am I really? The abandoned one, the rescuer, the punished child, the betrayer? Until you can answer, you will keep performing the same role. With different faces, different names, different lovers, but always the same tragic ending. You are not free. Not yet. But you can be. You convince yourself that your longing is romantic, that your desire is noble, pure, even spiritual. But Jung would have asked, is it really? Or are you simply at the mercy of instincts you barely understand? Beneath your carefully crafted narratives about love and connection, there is something more primal, more ancient, more indifferent to your well-being. Instinct, your evolutionary inheritance, biological drives forged over millennia, programmed to ensure survival, not happiness. You long for them because your instincts have been triggered. Attachment mechanisms, reproductive, drives, power dynamics, all orchestrating your attraction from the shadows. You say, "I can't help who I fall for." And you're right, but not for the reasons you think. You can't help it because you are not as rational as you believe. Because beneath your intellect, your civility, your moral aspirations, there is the animal, the part of you that seeks what is familiar, what is fertile, what is dangerous, what is dominant, and sometimes, what is destructive. This is why you feel addicted to someone who harms you, why you chase those who reject you, why you mistake intensity for intimacy. Your instincts do not care about your fulfillment. They care about your survival, even if that means keeping you locked in toxic patterns that mimic ancestral forms of connection. But here's the question Jung would want you to ask. Must you be ruled by these instincts? Or can you integrate them, recognize their presence without surrendering to their tyranny? Because only then, only when you bring awareness to the animal within, can you transcend its compulsions and choose something else, something free. But most will never dare, will you? You tell yourself that they complete you, that without them you are unfinished, fractured, incomplete. But this is the most seductive lie of all. Carl Jung warned against this illusion, the belief that salvation lies in merging with another, that love will heal your brokenness, that someone else holds the missing piece of your soul. You seek them out because you believe they possess what you lack. But do they? Or are they merely reflecting the parts of yourself you have disowned? You feel empty, and so you crave their presence to fill the void. You feel unworthy, and so you crave their validation to feel real. You feel invisible, and so you crave their gaze to feel seen. But none of this is about them. It is about the exile of your own inner self, the parts of you that you deemed unlovable, unworthy, unacceptable. And so, you chase completion through the other, when what you truly crave is reunion with yourself. But here is the paradox. The more you seek completion in them, the further you drift from your own wholeness. The more you depend on them to feel complete, the more power you give them to destroy you. And when they inevitably disappoint you, as all humans do, you will feel shattered. But it will not be their betrayal that breaks you. It will be the collapse of your illusion. Jung called this the process of individuation, the painful, necessary journey of reclaiming your fragmented parts, of becoming whole unto yourself, not through another, but through integration. So ask yourself, are you seeking love or escape? Are you pursuing connection or avoidance of your own inner work? Until you know the answer, you will continue mistaking attachment for love and dependency for destiny. Are you ready to let go of the illusion? You keep asking, why? Does love hurt so much? But Jung would turn that question back on you. Why do you keep choosing love that hurts? What if you need the suffering? Not consciously, of course. Consciously, you beg for peace, stability, unconditional love. But unconsciously, you crave the familiar agony of abandonment, rejection, betrayal. Because it is what you know. Because it is what shaped you. Because somewhere in your psyche you equated love with pain, closeness with danger, affection with control. And now, in adulthood, your psyche does not seek what is healthy. It seeks what is familiar. This is the masochistic dance of the wounded self, pursuing those who hurt you, interpreting their coldness as a challenge, their neglect as a test, their abuse as proof that you must work harder to be loved. You become addicted to the cycle, hope, disappointment, hope again. And each time they leave, each time they break you, your inner narrative is reinforced, that you are unlovable, that love must be earned, that suffering is the price of connection. But here is the brutal truth. This suffering is self-inflicted, not because you deserve it, but because you unconsciously recreate it. Until you see this, until you confront the part of you that clings to suffering as an identity, you will continue to be drawn to those who offer it. Jung knew that suffering is not just something that happens to us. It is something we participate in, collude with, perpetuate. But he also knew this. Suffering is a signal, a call to awaken, to stop repeating, to finally choose something different. But first, you must admit that you need it, that you invite it, that you are not just a victim of your heartbreak, but its co-creator. Are you brave enough to confront that? You've spent your life running from the parts of yourself you couldn't bear to face. The anger, the fear, the selfishness, the desire, the shame, you pushed them into the darkness, believing that repression would keep you safe. But Jung warned us. What you resist persists. Your shadow does not disappear because you ignore it. It grows stronger, more manipulative, more seductive, and in love it seeks expression. That is why you are drawn to those who embody what you refuse to acknowledge in yourself. If you deny your aggression, you will fall for those who dominate you. If you deny your neediness, you will fall for those who withhold affection. If you deny your power, you will fall for those who control you. The shadow is not evil. It is simply the part of you you've exiled, but it will not be silent. It will find its way back to you. Through projection, through obsession, through heartbreak. You think your suffering comes from them, from the wrong person, from their betrayal, from their coldness. But no, your suffering comes from your refusal to integrate your own shadow. Until you reclaim these parts of yourself, you will keep encountering them in others, over and over, until the lesson is finally learned. Jung called this the path of individuation, the lifelong process of making the unconscious conscious, of reconciling with your shadow, of becoming whole. But be warned, integration is not comfortable. It is not romantic, it is brutal. It requires facing the truth of who you are, without flinching, without the comforting lies, without the mask, but only then, only in that terrifying honesty. Can you stop falling for the wrong person? Because you will no longer need them to show you what you have finally seen in yourself. So, will you turn toward your shadow, or keep letting it choose your lovers for you? You came here hoping to learn how to stop falling for the wrong person. But now you know, the wrong person was never the problem. The real problem was your disconnection from yourself. The pattern of heartbreak, of choosing those who wound you, of mistaking pain for passion. It was never about them. It was always about the inner fracture you refused to confront. Carl Jung taught us that freedom does not come from avoiding the shadow, but from integrating it, from turning toward the parts of ourselves we fear most and saying, I see you. You are mine. This is the only path out of the cycle. Not another relationship, not another distraction, not another attempt to fix someone else, but the brutal, raw, transformative work of fixing yourself, of recognizing that you were never incomplete, only unconscious, of realizing that the love you've been begging others to give you is the love you have denied yourself. This is what individuation demands: radical self-ownership, the courage to face your patterns without blaming your lovers, the strength to walk away from relationships that echo old wounds, the wisdom to understand that your compulsions are not destiny, unless you let them be. And when you do this, when you confront the shadow, reclaim your projections, and integrate your disowned parts, you liberate yourself. Not just from the wrong person, but from the need for anyone to complete you. You become whole. You become sovereign. You become free. This is the truth Jung tried to tell us. Few listen. Even fewer act. But now, you know. What will you do with that knowledge? The choice is yours. The story ends here. Unless, of course, you are ready to write a new one.